Las Vegas, and it is Friday, and it is Golden Knights Day. It's the first of seven, maybe six games, maybe four games of us playing the Dallas Stars, and I think that we're going to beat them. They're fat, they're big, but at least we're not playing. At least we're not playing the Krakens because they're fast and speed. You don't always know what to do, which way they're going. But when they're big, you understand that situation. So anyway, let's get on with the show today. We have 50 days of inventory, everybody, and we're going to hear from Lawrence Young about what he thinks is going to happen this year, if you will. And his prediction is kind of, what we were saying a couple months ago, and we will listen to him about the market. There are some significant changes in various parts of our market that we haven't seen in a long time. So it makes it like a mixed fruit bowl here. So anyway, we have gone down to 3,349 single family available homes. And of those, 837 are 430,000 and under. And that's 25% of those single family homes. So that has remained the same. So our market is pretty percentage wise looks good. However, because it's not being volatile, but the numbers aren't that good. We don't have that many available homes that I wish we did. Anyway, we're doing 92 sales a day, which really isn't bad. And hold on just a second. Let's see. I threw this away. Didn't mean to. Yeah, in 2021, we had 18 days of inventory, and the median price was 380,000. In 2022, just last year, we only had 35 days of inventory, and the median price was 475,000. Now, I know interest rates play into all this, but I'm just saying the fact that we're doing 92 homes a day selling is really fantastic, given all the factors involved. We still have people here that want to buy homes. And we must be doing a good job at letting them know you can always refinance if you want to. Now, here's a stat that perhaps amazed me because I thought it was less. 42% of the homeowners in the United States do not have a mortgage. 42%. That really speaks to our net worth in the country. That really speaks to the people's ability to sell and buy. So let the numbers guide you sometimes, and maybe go after those people that don't have mortgages, that can buy, because their prices have appreciated, their homes have appreciated over the years, and they do have that liquid equity to buy. And we have Remine, and you can go into Remine, you can go into Realist, and you can just look and see if there's a mortgage on the home. If you have a particular subdivision, because I want you to farm, right? You have to be farming. Hopefully you're farming, and you can look at that farm and see, okay, who doesn't have a mortgage here? And you may be amazed. Now, I know Las Vegas is different. I say this all the time because we have people moving here, and sometimes they get great jobs, but they have to get a mortgage just because. So I know Vegas might be a little different, but the fact remains that there are many, many people that don't have mortgages that can buy, sell, and buy. What else do we have here? We have here investors. Now they're having a heyday right now because they're coming in, and yes, there's multiple offers on those homes under 430,000, and they're coming in with the cash. And they just knocked one of our agents right out of the chute. She offered a beautiful, close early. The people have been qualified for the loan, and offered a list price, and got knocked out. I think the price was 388,000, and she got knocked out by an investor who was willing to offer 415,000 cash. Why did he do that? Well, probably because he had a 1031 tax exchange, possibly, right? And he had to buy something, and he had to buy it at 415,000 because that was what he had to buy it at. And that's number one. But number two, he did his homework and knew that the rent for that home would give him a return. And also he believes like many investors do, in the next couple of years, you're going to see the prices in Vegas go up because it is a popular spot to be. We've got, we've got the sports teams. The Oakland A's supposedly are coming. I mean, a lot of things going on that are bringing people to the city, not even including the tax and the tax advantages and the weather and the newness of our city and the 24/7 feel of that dynamic that you can do anything anytime you want to in Vegas. So, the party's not over till everybody leaves, and nobody's leaving Vegas. They're coming here. Anyway, I love our fair city, as you know, and I'm so excited about the nights tonight. And I think it's 5:30 the game starts, and I will be eyes glued. All right, so here's something I want to share with you today. Guess what? It's May 19th. Guess what? The median price as of today is $440,000. Prices are going up. I just said that. Investors know this. Now, imagine this. In this economy, with inflation. Well, we're going to talk about that in a second. But in this economy, with these interest rates and what have you, people still are coming here and buying homes. Obviously, right? Obviously, it's gone up. That's a big jump. That's a big jump. 2.5%, right? Yeah, that's a big jump. Anyway, I love that. I was anxious to tell everybody that today. So now let's look to see what's going on here. We have showing index for March over the last 7 years, okay? So the spring housing market has been surprisingly active this year, even with the affordability challenges and a limited number of homes for sale. Buyer demand is strong and getting stronger. One way we know that there are interested buyers right now is because the showing traffic is up. So this is the data from Showing Time Showing Index, which is a measure of buyers actively touring homes, makes it clear that more people are out looking at homes than they were prior to the pandemic. And look at this chart. Look at this chart. It speaks for itself. In 2020, that was 128.7, and now it's 223.9. That's a huge jump. It's not quite double, but it's pretty close to it, right? And even though there's less traffic than the buyer frenzy of the past 2 years, we're not far from the pace. And there's a lot of interested buyers checking out available homes right now. So why are buyers so active at a time when mortgage rates are higher than they were just a year ago? Well, the job market is growing at a stronger than expected pace. So with inflation still high, hold on, I have a chart for that. Hang on, hold on, let's look at the chart for that. The job market. Let's see. Yes, the job market. Look at this. Yes. So I'm sorry, I'm so excited about these numbers today. Inflation's high. Yes, it is. The Federal Reserve, the Fed, repeatedly hiking the Fed funds rate, and a lot of chatter in the media about a recession. It might surprise you to just know how strong today's job market is. What might even be more surprising is the fact that, it appears, yes, it appears that it's getting stronger. Okay, it's getting stronger. So each month, the Bureau of Labor Statistics reports, how many more new jobs were added to the U.S. job market. The graph shows 88,000 more jobs were created in April than in March. In fact, the April numbers beat expert projections. That's a solid indicator. The job market is growing. So unemployment is at a near-time low. Ever since the Fed began fighting inflation, many people expected the low unemployment rate we've seen over the past couple of years to rise. But that hasn't happened, just the opposite. In fact, what's happening is the unemployment rate has dropped to a 3.4%, which is a 50-year low. It hasn't been this low in decades. In decades, everybody. So let's look at that chart. There's a reason why I'm so excited about all this stuff. Hold on, where's my other chart? Here we go. There we go. So with so many people unemployed and financially stable right now, they're still able to seriously consider buying a home, right? So what that means for us, if we're thinking about selling, if you're talking to a seller, if you're thinking, telling this to the seller, if you're thinking about selling your house this year, a market with active buyers is music to your ears. This is because there'll be increased interest in your home when you put it on the market, especially at a time when the number of homes for sale is so low. To get started, the best resource is an experienced realtor. That's us. We are experienced realtors, and we can help the seller price their homes appropriately, navigate the offers, negotiate effectively, and minimize stress and hassle. Sellers want to know they can get a home, and they don't want to. The first thing that their objection is the bumpy journey of selling their home. So the easier you can make it for them, the easier the journey, the better they are equipped to mentally, emotionally, to go and you pick them the right home. That's what the number one home buyer wants out of real estate agents, is for you to find them the right home. Now, I know they've been on the internet, but they probably haven't visited, the 180 plus new home subdivisions we have that have ample inventory right now. There's 600 homes sitting out there that builders want to sell. So there are plenty of buyers out there right now trying to find the right home that fits their needs. And guess what? We're here. That's because the job market is strong. Many people have stable income, and they need to seriously consider home ownership. This is the best time. So tell your sellers to put their house on the market and get their home sold. Now, the beautiful thing about all this, and we're going to listen to a clip in a minute from Lawrence Young, but the beautiful thing about all this is the government is lagging behind when it comes to inflation. All the factors that should be reducing inflation are happening. And now you're going to hear Young say that as soon as we get more inventory, more things sell, right? We should be looking at the investors who have lots of equity and get them to put their house on the market. Now, what's going to happen with the influx of rentals is the prices, supply and demand rules our life. When the supply is greater, now we've already seen in Vegas, I think I showed you a slide, the rental amounts have gone down about 5%. I'm trying to think of what the numbers were, but I can't. From 21 something to 20 something, 2000, I should say. I think in K's, not thousands. I should adjust that so I'm understandable. But anyway, so rents have gone down at least 5%. Okay. Now, as they continue to go down, that's an indicator that the government's looking for that inflation is subsiding. Now you're going to hear Young say something, and I may pause it when he says it because it's something that you need to think about, seriously think about, and why maybe so many investors aren't selling their homes. So let me put him up here. I'm going to mute myself and hopefully remember to turn.
Applications to purchase a home dropped nearly 5% last week. They're still down 6% from the same time last year. For more on what it means for housing, let's ask Lawrence Yoon. He's the chief economist at the National Association of Realtors. Lawrence, welcome. Any signs that prices are going to drop, or you think they're just going to stay up here?
Good afternoon, Kelly. Well, the prices are holding on for the most part, but there are some regional variation. Out in the West, the very expensive region of the country, always most sensitive to the mortgage rate changes, prices have come down. In San Francisco, it has come down in the 10% range, but rest of the country is saying.
But not in Vegas. So this is why I keep saying Vegas is its own island. We are a community among ourselves amid all the other stats. So there's some things that you can just tell people, look, Vegas is different. Our prices, we started out the year around 425. Now we're up to 440. Prices here are strong. $1 million homes are selling. I just showed you that we didn't talk about it, but they're still strong, selling $3.5 million homes a day. So anyway, let's continue. I'm going to mute myself again. So
mild price increases. I would say roughly half of the country on the positive territory and half of the country on the negative territory, but only modestly.
I guess the biggest driving factor has basically just been household formation. People who wanted to get out of the city, take their kids to a backyard. The pandemic accelerated that. How much more pent-up demand do you think there is, or has it been exhausted?
Oh, well, 1/3 of the property right now are getting multiple offers. So the fact that there are multiple offers means that there is insufficient supply to fully meet all of the demand. Now, it's principally happening on the mid-priced home or slightly below. On the upper end market, luxury market, I think it's a buyer's market. Buyers can get a good price negotiation, but on a starter home, expect multiple offers, other buyers competing at the same time. So it is a very interesting market dynamics. The sales activity, mortgage applications are all down roughly 20% from 1 year ago, yet prices holding on and multiple offers happening on 1/3 of the property listings.
We talk about kind of making homes more affordable or trying to get at this, but compressing that spread between mortgage rates and the 10-year would go a long way. Is it the Fed's own fault in some ways that it has gone extra wide because they've been selling, or I don't know, rolling off, maybe someday selling their mortgage-backed securities? I mean, what would it take to get that back to historical norms? And if it was at historical norms, how much lower would mortgage rates be right now?
Well, if we had a normal spread between the 10-year Treasury and the 30-year fixed rate mortgage, today, mortgage rates would be 100 basis point lower.
Wow.
In other words, 5.5% mortgage rate. I mean, that will bring in additional buyers into the marketplace. Now, we don't have enough supply, so we have to think about long-term solution to supply, which involve home building. But in the short term, I think some policymakers should be very creative. Do we provide some tax incentive for mom and pop investors who happen to own real estate as an investment property, rental income, to unload those property onto the market with lower capital gains tax? I think we need to consider some strong short-term incentive to bring more supply, because clearly there are demand out there.
That's super interesting, because I hear from people obviously who are trying to actually get into the market and say, in an inflationary time, I'd like to own a property and collect that rental income, and maybe I can do quite well over time, but they would worsen the dynamic that you're talking about. And there are tax incentives encouraging them to do so.
Yes, especially designed, just for the short-term supply increase. So it can be designed specifically to say that if the buyer is an owner-occupant and the seller is a real estate investor, well, maybe lower capital gains tax will provide that incentives. But right now, housing market, very interesting dynamics. The sales are down, yet multiple offers still happening, and prices still rising in half of the country.
Quick final question, because I think Musk is right that the Fed is responding with too much latency. They're responding to lagging data. They did it on the way up. They're doing it now on the way down. But I don't know if you would agree with that.
Yeah, I would say the Fed needs to cut interest rate right now, because we have a robust apartment building. That means all these empty rental units will be hitting the marketplace. Therefore, the rents, the strong heavyweight of the consumer price index component, the rents will decelerate, and that will bring overall CPI down. So knowing this, and also the economy, not very robust, GDP only 1%, business spending a negative, I think the Fed should consider cutting rates before the year end.
I'm nominating you. What region are you in, Lawrence? Which Fed seat could you take?
Well, I'm looking at the housing market, but certainly housing market, very little distressed sale, but it is an interesting times.
Yes, Lawrence Yun, thanks for your time today. It's good to check in with you.
Sale, but it is an interesting times.
Yes, Lawrence Yun, thanks for your time today. It's good to check in with you.
Yeah, so that was really, you probably want to play that a couple times to hear some of the things that he's saying. But what he's saying is that the Fed is actually lagging behind because, Musk thinks so. Let's see if I can't get rid of this here, get myself back. Oops. Hold, please. Hold, please. Let's hide. I know. Every time they change everything. Okay, there we go. So yes, the Fed is lagging behind because the numbers speak for themselves. And I really respect Elon Musk and his insights into things, but also our own, because we are here in the pulse of the market. We've got our ear to the ground. We can hear the hoofs coming. We know what's going on. So, I mean, the fact that they mentioned, I want to talk a little bit about this, the capital gains tax. So that was an interesting thing. I hadn't thought of it, hadn't heard about it, but if you think about it, all these investors and or mom and pops who are holding on to their homes, they're getting an income, yes, but all their equities tied up in those homes. I mean, not just equity, but their appreciation and the not just the equity they put in, but the appreciation is got 20% tax ramifications to it. And that's just really the average, because it's based on other factors as well. If it can go up higher based on your tax bracket. But if the government would just lower the capital gains just a little bit, just to give those mom and pops and some of those other homeowners who are holding on, so that we can get more inventory. That's what we want, more inventory. Now, we have new homes, right? I said there's almost 600 new homes available on the market today. And I know that, but the prices are higher. Okay, so that doesn't help the person who, like they were saying, that mid-level is doing good. Our mid-level is doing good. Not only is it doing good, I don't know who's knocking at my door. But anyway, not only is it doing good, but we're actually increasing in price. So think about all these things as you this weekend, as you're talking to, the sellers and the buyers. Our prices are going up. So if it's a great time for a seller to sell. It's a great time for them to buy. And because I know that Lawrence Young has talked about this for years. The pent up buyer demand is continuing. The supply and demand is still there. So anyway, I think we should be so jazzed about Vegas. And I think if you're a real estate agent, you should be buying an investment home. Go into Remine and start looking at who doesn't have a mortgage and ask them, can I sell your home or can I buy your home? How about that? Just say, if you give me a 6% commission, that's $25,000. That all I use as my down payment. I may have to add a few more bucks to make it a 10% down, or whatever the investment criteria is with your lender, and buy that rental, buy that home yourself. Now, I know that doesn't help the big picture with the lack of inventory, right? But help yourself. Let's help ourselves. Anyway, I'm going to get off that soapbox, and we're going to listen. I have one or two more little things here. The next thing is, speaking of taxes, speaking of all those things, we have the class today from 10 to 1 with Sheila. She's a national expert on 1031 tax exchanges. She actually does them herself. Her mother's an IRS agent. She knows everything there is to know. I have never heard anybody explain things so clearly. And she puts everything into 5 groups. There's 5 different groups she's going to go over. And then we have a guide that you can keep for your future. So anyway, for your future use, and to show, your investors, would-be investors. Maybe a homeowner wants to let their home, I'm so sorry about my dogs. Anyway, sorry, I wish they'd be quiet. If you have a homeowner who, for whatever reason, has to sell their home, there's the divorce, the diploma, the diamonds, the diapers, the relocation, all those reasons why people may need to sell their home. They may be able to use that home as a rental. And if you explain to them how the 1031 tax exchange works, you might just have yourself another client. And so you're going to keep that home for them and sell them another home. So anyway, lots of things that you can learn here and be the expert, the broker of knowledge. And that's today. So let me put this down, and let's say I have a tip here from Gary Vee. Now, I am really hot this year on videos again. I just gave you a video equipment guide. We just went over hooks for videos. And I just want you, and I've shared some things that Gary says. So let's listen to this as well.
Enough. I know what your pain points are, but we must have this conversation together that the scale of volume of creative we need, and we must win on relevance, not just on our subjective opinions of brand. And we must do it at scale. So what I would do today is I would produce as much content as humanly possible on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Snapchat, Pinterest, at scale, at the lowest cost possible, which is not at the expense of the quality of the content. And I would do that. And then when I would get the signals, quant and qual signals, I would then amplify true consumer insights into more meaningful. And that is the model that I believe in. I believe in above the line activities. I just think they're overpriced, and I think we guess. And I'd prefer to use social media as a proxy. And I don't believe posting on social media is spray and pray. I don't believe it's test and learn. I believe it's marketing. Why is a social media picture any different than a print ad? As a matter of fact, a social media picture done properly will be consumed by more people than a print ad in Vogue. But in social, it's like this lightweight thing, and it's maybe test and learn. But in print, because it's yesterday, we put yesterday on a pedestal. We'd rather pay $4 million for a celebrity than $400,000 for a KOL, and the impact's not even close in 2023. We'd rather run a print ad that takes us 4 months to decide that's on brand with our brand positioning, than post a proper photo on Instagram. We don't treat them the same, yet the latter is actually more impactful in 2023. And so I view marketing and social as you do marketing for the sake of doing better marketing. So I would make a pot commitment to social media organic creative. And once the signals played out, I would then use media to amplify, to create brand building and sales. And that's what I would do today. And then when I would do above the line work, I wouldn't do commercials. I would do pre-roll YouTube. I would do connective TV. I would do the new streaming service options, because they are more built on social, where I can target. And again, I would try to mitigate my cost of the creative. I came from Silicon Valley world, where the biggest companies in the world, Facebook, YouTube, were making videos for their company, commercials on the internet, and they were spending tens of thousands of dollars to make it. Then I came into Madison Avenue, and smaller companies like yours, compared to those companies, were spending millions of dollars to make a video. And it was a very big culture shock for me. I promise you, a video that's 30 seconds long should not cost $500,000. I promise. I promise. But the reason we all laugh is that's the rules of the industry. And the industry's done an incredible job justifying it. And so we must talk about this. And everything I just said enhances luxury, doesn't decline it, but luxury is super struggling with what I'm saying. There's this subconscious in the stomach reaction to this modern that feels like it's diminishing the luxury. When you look at the data, premium watch industry has exploded because of social. Premium car, premium art, all exploding. Yet in CPG, consumer luxury, there's this bias that the modern communication channel somehow diminishes the brand, which is really detrimental, because this is no longer, and everyone here knows this is not 20-year-olds on social anymore. The amount of 40 to 60-year-olds that are completely living in these platforms, and all their consideration is coming from these channels, is profound, and we must recognize that.
So if you hear what he's saying, you can do a 30-second video. Now, I said a lot today. Lawrence Young said a lot today. You can go to my YouTube channel, subscribe please, and you can watch it and do the transcription, and you can copy that transcription, paste it into Word, and you will have what to say on your video. You can pick how to say it. You might want to say it in your words versus mine, but you'll have the points. The other thing you can do is take that transcription And guess where you put it? Into Chat GPT, and have it do bullet points so that you have just a clear and concise transcript or script for you to look at and do your video. And next, let's see, Monday, we are going to do AI. We are going to do the stats. And then our second part of my show is going to be about how you can use AI. And what I like to do is I like to take what I'm saying and put it in a PowerPoint so that then you have it in a PDF form to refer back to. And we will have that for you on Monday. So have a great weekend. Go to YouTube, transcribe what I say, put it in Chat GPT, bullet point it, and now you have your script for several 30-second videos. Okay, everybody, have a wonderful weekend. Go Knights, go. We're going to win the Stanley Cup. That's my prediction, and I'm sticking to it.